One.
Hey, 13 years.
13 years. 13 years.
Hey, got the stanky leg.
What do you look like you were rocking a baby. What was that?
Me?
No.
That's
Game
my
guy,
girl.
he's doing this.
Listen. He's never going to ask you. He's going to always ask me. He's never asking what you do. He always asks about me.
I couldn't tell what Moose was doing at all, but I could see your hands. You're like this.
You rocking the baby?
Yeah,
That's what he looked like. He was
doing the stanky leg. Doing the stanky leg. Hey, I got something for you today, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh yeah. There we go.
You fulfilling your obligation.
Yeah, my contractual obligations.
Hey, for me, it's bittersweet because I am a Jags fan.
Hey, where's yours? You were supposed to wear yours.
Yeah, he was supposed to wear his. Where's it at?
I had to wait for the show and tell. We're doing show and tell.
Oh, we're doing show and tell.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at
I got
that.
some sweet hats. Why don't y'all send me those? Both of them.
No, you ain't getting this one, man.
This is the
This
last
one costs
time
way too much for you to
This is
get.
the last time that's the Pro Bowl.
Y'all need to send them to me.
Look at
Yeah, I like that
AFC,
Yeah, I like
Yep.
that.
Florida,
Yeah,
I
that's
love
nice
it.
right there.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Duval. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Where's yours, Moose?
I wore mine every week. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Hey, it's good
I
hair
wear
day.
it
It's a
every
good-
week.
it's a-
Good
hey,
hair day. I can mess
good
You know
hair
what's gonna
day.
happen now? Hey, you know what's gonna happen now,
They
game
lost.
guys. You need to
now.
wear it
They're
this
gonna
week.
lose. They're
Yep.
gonna lose.
Thanks, Moose. Thanks for
They're
No.
gonna lose.
No.
man. Wow.
I wear my stanky leg hat when they play, so they always win when they.
Let me tell you something. One thing I learned about is I got a dome, man. These hats is
Yeah, what size you get?
7 5/8.
Oh man,
Yeah, mine's really tight.
Hmm.
Somebody had to pick one up for me. I couldn't find one anywhere. Somebody had to pick one up for me in Florida and send it to me.
I bet you
Oh.
it's harder now to find, considering that then.
In the playoffs, baby.
Hey,
Welcome everybody who's watching us live. Feeling a little bit under the weather. That's been the common thread for like the last 2 months, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't shake it. I don't know why.
Take some
But,
vitamins.
Yeah, possibly, or maybe just a new body would help as well.
Oh, you might have found one at CES.
That's a good question. If I had somebody looking out for me and going to CES, then maybe they would have found one for me. But nope, nobody was there for representing the podcast. Magic Mike, is the CES right there where you live?
It is right here where I live.
Wow. Oh, okay. All right. Well, man, you should look into trying to go there sometime.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
if Jacksonville can make it to the playoffs, Mike can make it to CES.
Thanks for looking out for your boy Moose and getting a new body by going to CES.
Hey, Game God. I say I'm gonna call him out now because I look out for him all the time. He gets stuff all the time. Mike's like, "Hey, guess what I found?" See, and he's like, "Oh, sweet, yeah, go ahead and send that to me." So I guess he wants to rock that boat.
Ooh,
sounds
rock
like
the
to
baby.
me.
Rock the baby.
He wants to rock that baby. He wants to rock it.
There would have been some cool stuff at CES to send me, but you didn't go. So all right. Well, I guess that's the way it goes.
Hump the Hump's my name.
People can do it the same.
Hey, Moose, does it pass your standards?
Looks good, man. Looks good. I like both of those hats. I think you should send them to me. Mike's is probably too small for me, so
Mine is too small.
You can't fit a 5/8. Can you fit a 5/8? You like
5/8? I can slip. I can slip into a 5/8. It comes a little high.
Hey, Magic Mike, you notice how he laughed when he said it? He knows it's an 8.
Hey, I'm just saying. Eight's just a sliver too big.
No, but it'll keep the hair good. Keep the hairline good.
That's true.
That is true. Yeah, that's what you got to do.
What size is that one, Magic Mike?
7 3/8, and it's a little small on me, so I can't.
Yeah, that's baby hat right there.
I can feel the pain. I can feel the stretch.
It's fitted.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
New era.
All right. Well,
$9.50. Hey, we spent some money because as soon as you started looking for it, that bad boy went up like $30.
You know it did, man. You're like Jaguars hat.
Man, it was an
$8.
$8.
Oh, that's a good price. Let me go back and look later.
Obligation.
Hey, this was an $8 hat last week.
Thanks for honoring your obligation to wear your Jaguar hat after beating both of your teams. I appreciate that.
Hey, now that that's over,
the Jaguars appreciate it. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So we got some kind of cool stuff to talk about this week. I know that it's always a gamble when you don't have things being released during a new year or a new season, and things are kind of they're trying to position things or to release things in certain orders. And in this case, we dug a little deeper and said, okay, well, let's talk about some of the things that we would normally talk about, and add a couple of salt and pepper topics to the
or cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah, or cinnamon and sugar, depending on where you look at it. But a little flavor nonetheless. Now, I want to start. Can we start with the trailer, with the Ant-Man Wasp Quantumania trailer? Can we start there?
Yeah, as soon as you put the intro.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I played all this music and clapping, and I completely forgot about the intro.
Play the intro. Go ahead. Man, remember, we got contractual obligations with the intro too. We got to play those.
Oh, yeah. I guess I should hit record. All right, let's see if we can do this. Let me start this show. How about that? There we go. If you watched anything the past 2 days, I know you had to have seen the Ant-Man Wasp Quantumania trailer. CES just wrapped. Star Wars in the news. The HTC Vibe from CES. How about that? And we have some comics. We have some tech. We got some stuff that you want to talk about. So let's talk.
According to Wikipedia, a nerd is a person seen as overly intellectual, obsessive, introverted, or lacking social skills. Many so-called nerds are described as being shy, quirky, pedantic, and unattractive. We're here to prove Wikipedia right.
Oh, look who they let in.
This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. If it's fantasy, sci-fi, gaming, movies, interviews, we're talking about it. We're talking about it. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, and here's your host, Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike.
Welcome to Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Episode number 374, and we've got all of the crew here tonight, including the operations manager, the director. Who else do we have? Marketing.
HR's in the building.
Everybody's
HR's in the building.
I don't think HR's in the building tonight. I think we're good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're okay. Don't have to worry about that.
Our attorney's not here either, so we do have to worry about that.
Legal's not here.
Yeah, legal is not here, and neither is HR. That's actually not a bad day if you can get both of them out of the way. Yeah,
Gigi doesn't get paid.
We love our HR department. I'm just kidding, and we love our legal department. I'm just kidding. Not really. That was a joke. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. We wanted to start with we were just talking in the pregame. Thanks for joining us on the live Facebook and YouTube. We were just talking about starting with Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania trailer. Kind of get that started off. Last week we had not a lot of topics. This week, some more topics and maybe some more juice. So this trailer aired, I think, in the national championship game, like national championship college football game. I think is when it originally aired.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
So who would like to go first? Tell me your thoughts.
Well, I'll take the lead. No, too late. You slow. I'll take the lead.
You were frozen there, Mr. Game Guy. You're back to your old ways.
Yeah. So let's go on with the story then. So this was a trailer that I can tell you that should have been played in the Super Bowl. That's how this trailer felt to me. And
wow.
And the reason why I said that is because coming into this trailer, before this trailer, I was like, this movie's a joke. This is not going to be anything worth watching. And when I saw this trailer, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. There might be something to this. And it had a curveball, at least from the trailer piece, that I didn't think I was going to see coming, which was that is Ant-Man going to be kind of bad in this? Did it seem like he was like going to make the decision to be selfish? Not bad, like a villain, but like a selfish decision, like I'm going to make a decision to save my family rather than save anybody else. So I thought that was interesting when he says, I have what I have. I have what I can give you is time. And considering everything that played in the Infinity series,
right.
that's valuable these days.
That's very valuable. Yeah.
So I can tell you, I saw this trailer and I was like,
you just went on mute somehow. I'm not sure what happened.
I hear him.
Check your mic setup. We cannot hear you. No.
You can't hear me, guys. You can't hear me.
I can hear Game God.
maybe that was me.
And Moose just went off
Yeah,
of his
Moose
mic.
just went off. Yeah, his mic went off. So I'm gonna keep going while Moose fixes his tech there. So I can tell you that the trailer definitely looked like something that we should have gotten pre-phase 4. Because phase 4, I throw phase 4 out the window. Phase 4, let's throw phase 4 away. I think this trailer is what should have been phase 4. And if that trailer is any indication of what the movie's gonna bring to the table, I think we're in for a great movie. What do you think, Mike?
Okay, so you guys didn't like the first one at all. I was okay with it. I like the feel, but I like the music too as well. You guys didn't really like the first trailer, at least when I can remember. When I watched this one, I got a little more out of it, but I felt like it may have been given the way the movie and how everything's going to play out, because we got to see MODOK as well, right?
Correct.
So we see MODOK in here, but I also feel that maybe what you are referring to might have you liked better was Kang, because you get to see his power a little more.
Correct.
And here's where my question would come into your point, which is Ant-Man's going, I want to get this time back, and Kang is like, I can give you this, I can change. He wants his time back with his daughter. Mm-hmm. So does that open the door to bring all of anything that's happened during the snap, pre-snap, anytime? Because Kang obviously has that ability to change all of it. So we can get Iron Man back. We can get everybody that passed away back in that time or before. I think that might open the door for that, which we've talked about before. Will we ever see Iron Man again? Will it be just a cameo? Will it be just his voice? But that's my only concern. I say my only concern is because I feel like we've moved past that, is they might go, oh, you know what, let's try to bring everything back the way that it was with these guys. Now that they're opening that door with Ant-Man. I do feel that he is getting a little selfish there, but if he has the ability, would you?
I mean, listen, when you talk about family, anytime you talk about family, particularly his daughter in this case, where he lost all her childhood, for anyone who don't remember, yeah, man, it gets to be very delicate, a very sensitive subject, sensitive subject. Now, you are saying that you're worried about that it'll open the door to bring back people that we might have, might be better off leaving alone, such as, the old Avengers. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. But Moose, let's hear what your thoughts on that. What do you think?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
We got you.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I don't know what you guys said, so I can't comment.
All right, so give us your piece and we'll agree with you or not.
Thank you. Here's what I'll say. I'll say that when I saw this trailer, I was much like you, Game God. And that is, when I saw this trailer, as soon as it started, I'm like, wait, I've never liked really the Ant-Man and Wasp or Ant-Man alone. Like I wasn't a huge fan of the movies previously. Not even his character, really. I mean, his character was okay.
He was always a secondary
it was
character.
Kind of like, it was kind of like Snap, like the card. Yeah, his card is like, if I need
he's just like Snap. He's better in a group by himself. Exactly. He's not good.
So needless to say, when I saw this trailer, it gave me promise that maybe they could pull something out here. And I love what they were doing with Ant-Man. I actually thought it could be a spoiler for that preview, but want me to tell you what I think it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think Ant-Man dies, but I don't think it's him that dies. I think it's another Ant-Man. So I think they're going to pull the old switcheroo. The old huck and buck.
So what you missed, what Magic Mike said, he's worried that because that Kang has the power of kind of manipulating time, that you're going to be able to see some of the characters that we kind of retired already from the old Avengers come back.
It could be, but I think that's a better move than not.
Well, and my comment was, I think that this is the trailer that should have been the beginning of Phase 4.
Absolutely.
If this was the beginning of Phase 4, we can erase Phase 4 altogether and start all over and call this Phase 4, because watching this trailer gave me the feels that we just picked off right where the Infinity Saga left off.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we need. We need a little bit of selfishness with Ant-Man. We need a little bit of that internal conflict.
Right.
You need a bad guy who's going to manipulate all the good guys. I mean, it's all
and
regular.
By the way, in this trailer,
stuff.
he does that. He seemingly does that pretty well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He seems more believable.
He seems more believable versus where we saw him in Loki. It did.
Well, and that's what I was saying while you were out, Moose. That I could tell you guys we're going to like him before we even got on. I was like, I bet they're going to like the way they presented Kang here, because it's in the last trailer. You guys felt like, oh, they're not really showing. He doesn't need help.
Right.
So it seems like he's just really tricking Ant-Man and trying to get what he wants out of something, and he shows his power there as well. Yeah,
right.
I can tell you who I'm really looking forward to seeing on the film again, back with Marvel, is Jimmy Woo. I mean, he's a funny character, or a fun character.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him back there again, and he's in this one. So
I want to. We can go back to this trailer. I really enjoyed the trailer. I thought the music, the soundtrack of the trailer was on point. I loved what they were doing. It was different than the Avengers, yet it had elements that you loved about the Avengers and from the soundtrack standpoint. And I love that, because I think a soundtrack can make or break a movie. I think it can really do something, particularly for a trailer.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd love to have all the trailer sounds, because they were different than in movie sounds from the Avengers, and leading on up through Endgame.
Moose, before you move on there, you mentioned something about trailers and sounds and stuff like that, and something came to mind that we kind of breezed upon that happened in the last couple of weeks. Is, do you know that I don't know if it's Supreme Court or some court says that they no longer can make trailers that does not reflect the movie. So I'll give you an example.
No, don't say
what.
Yeah, so the Avengers trailer that had the Hulk in it,
when he had that,
and it wasn't it was like the Hulk Buster that was in it.
Right.
They pointed to that because they said that it's misleading to the consumer to think that something's going to happen in the trailer that doesn't happen in the movie. So they can no longer do that. So Star Wars did that with Rogue One,
yes, they did
as well.
By the way.
And that's something we love, because we'd like to see something that's not given away when we watch the movie. Like, we want to see what the movie can bring. Yes. So, but yeah, they can't do it no more. So it only came up when you say you like the trailer sounds and stuff like that. But I can tell you, this trailer for Ant-Man definitely felt like the MCU that we know.
Yeah,
that's the piece that we were missing. The MCU.
Yeah, I completely agree. One of the what's going on, Rob? I see you in the chat room there.
Rob.
One of the guys recently did made a comment. Pedro Pascal, you guys know him as Mandalorian and Game of Thrones. Anyway, he made a comment that he would like to play a character in the MCU. Now, having said that, I guess I could see him doing something, because I like his acting ability.
Yeah, did you like him in WWE 1984?
Yeah, he was great in that. He was great.
I thought he did fine. No, I really did. I thought he did fine. I thought the rest of the storyline wasn't very good, but I thought he did fine. Now, his most recent thing, as we know, is soon to come out on the 17th this month, and that's The Last of Us. And by the way, he's doing this, and it's gotten so far on the tomato meter. Now, it's not an audience, but the tomato meter is a 97.
Look at Moose. Look at Moose taking a line out of Game God's book.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's the 15th, by the way, not the 17th, but the 15th.
He took 2 lines out of Game God's book.
I did that just for you. So that's just in a couple of days, and I'm excited to watch this. Considering that the tomato meter scored it high, that gives it hope. It doesn't mean anything. We know that. But it does look good. It looks promising. And from the small snippets of a review, they can't really, say everything, but the small snippets of the reviews that I've seen, just the one-liners, it's coming off good. So
now
let me ask you guys this.
Go ahead.
Are you guys going to be comparing it? Okay, are you guys going to be comparing it to the game?
So it's good. It's a good question. I know Moose isn't. I probably will, because I know the story of the game. But the question I was going to ask, besides that, Magic Mike, was that is it good because there's nothing else good out right now?
I don't think so.
Because there really isn't anything out right now. So what is it really going up against?
Well, no, that's I understand that statement, but it looks good. Like, you can look at this, because you could say the same thing about Ant-Man then. Does that look good because of the only thing coming up? So no, it looks good. I'm enjoying it. I will enjoy it. I'm almost positive it's going to be a great show. And beside the game, I will not be comparing it to the game as Moose as well, because it just looks like a good story, a good TV show that I'm going to want to watch. So no.
And here's the other thing is that the only thing I do hate about this series that's coming up is that you got to wait every week for an episode.
Oh no!
Imagine that.
Oh no, we got to wait a week.
That is so 90s.
Man.
That's so 1990s.
It's so 1920s to the 2010. Oh no.
Man, why are we going back to old age time? You know,
I don't even know. Actually, I said the 20s, and that would have been just no
that would
sound.
have been one
Yeah, no
episode.
sound. There we go.
Season.
Yeah,
One
that's-
episode
yeah.
seasons.
You still had to wait. Still had to wait for it.
Yes, you did.
wasn't
That's
streaming.
true. Absolutely.
Um, that doesn't hurt me. It's the same thing if you look at Yellowstone. You know, if you're looking at Yellowstone, it's the same thing. And there's
Walking
nothing
Dead.
Walking Dead. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I know.
Rob
I know.
Rob is saying, yeah, Avatar is killing it.
Didn't see it, don't plan, but who can be Avatar? I think he's just riding off a hype, man. There's no way anyone who's seen this movie, and I know you guys haven't yet. So I have, and I can tell you, there's no way that this movie is generating the revenue because it's a great movie. The movie is okay at best. Okay at best. There's no way that this movie is on the top of the charts to say like an Infinity War or Endgame or, man, listen, even Titanic, and I'm not a Titanic fan. So like, there's no way this Avatar movie is that great.
You keep saying it over and over again, and you're saying that there's no way it's that good. And you may be right because I haven't seen it. However, you can't say it's writing off of anything because week after week after week, that somebody's saying it's good because they're saying, go watch it. Or I guarantee you there's people seeing it again. So you to say that is after, what are we in, week like 6 or something like that?
No. I think this is week 4, maybe 5 at best.
Yeah, okay. So even if it's week 4 or 5, it's still at the top. And so somebody's enjoying it somewhere. I'm not saying I disagree with you or agree with you because I haven't seen it. I'm just saying that statement does not really hold true. People are going to see it.
Well, this is the first weekend that it wasn't number 1 in the box office for the weekend. So a movie came out, which we don't typically. It's a horror movie. I believe it's called Megan. Came out, and it knocked it off the first place for the weekend perch. I think. Well, Rob says hype holds a movie up 2 weeks max, 4 weeks in. Rob, I hear you, Rob. I definitely hear you on that. I'm just saying that if it's not hype, what is it? Because it's not story. I can tell you that it's not story.
It is for somebody because I've talked to other people that are going, I enjoyed it. I don't know because even though it's the same, they're saying it's different. I'm not sure how they see that. But.
So Rob hasn't seen it. Rob, you did see Wakanda. You seen Wakanda Forever. And I know I know you thought the movie was great. You're telling me that Avatar is better than Wakanda Forever? I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, I just don't see it. I don't see it. 3-hour movie, which could have been done in 2 hours for me. Here we are, 4 weeks later, still talking about it. Probably that's why he's getting more ticket sales. But I just can't see it. I don't understand it. And if this is the case, the next 3 are going to be the same thing.
The next 3, or is it? I don't know. They got like
it's 3 more. There's 3 more.
I thought it was 4 more. I thought there was like 5 coming out.
Yeah. This is number 2. So there's 3
no,
more
I meant 5 more. 5 after the first one.
Oh no.
But who knows?
Yeah, one's in fire, one's in the the air. Like they got it's like I feel like we're doing like the last the last Avatar. So as we I was about to keep going. You're lucky you came back.
It's technical problems in the new year. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's what happens. Everybody's off. Yeah. See,
it's like hey, it's called the bathroom, bro. That's what it's called.
What is it called?
The bathroom. The bathroom.
Bathroom. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
The bathroom.
Gotcha.
Right, that's a new one, 2023.
All right.
So hey, Moose, I wanted to. Here's a topic that kind of fits into what we're talking about, but kind of doesn't. And I wanted to get it in there before we move on to our next bigger topic.
Yeah.
And that's Star Wars. You did mention Pascal. You mentioned The Mandalorian.
Right.
And I know you guys, especially Moose, is a Star Wars encyclopedia. Right. This guy knows things inside and out. So I'm going to quiz him today and see if he knew this fact right here.
Yeah.
Put you on the spot. You can phone a friend if you need to.
Oh, okay.
So are you aware that there was a deleted scene in one of the Star Wars movies? Now I know that there's a couple of deleted scenes. Yeah, sure, I know you're shaking your head. Yeah,
I'm sure there's plenty.
This one, I'm going to give you a hint of a character that was involved in this deleted scene, and I'm going to see if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Right. So the deleted scene involved Count Dooku.
Yes.
Dooku.
Yes, that too. Do you have any idea of what deleted scene that I might be referring to?
I do not.
Okay,
Oh.
so we all know that Emperor Palpatine was getting Anakin to fall to the dark side and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know that's
Mhm.
okay. And you know that Anakin's mother gets killed.
Oh,
Mhm.
We all
spoiler
know
alert.
that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So but how she got killed was the deleted scene piece.
Oh.
So in the movie, she was killed by the
Anakin.
Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, Anakin goes
Correct.
to Tusken Raiders, which is
Okay. But in the deleted scene, Emperor Palpatine, and I'm going to quote the line that makes the scene pretty good.
Okay.
He was supposed to say, when Anakin's fighting with Dooku,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Palpatine was supposed to say, Anakin, he was bragging earlier about how he arranged to have your mother killed by the Tusken Raiders.
Oh.
Ooh.
So that scene there, when he was supposed to say that, do you think what would it have done to Anakin and in that scene there, or what could it have done to the story?
I think it would have
if they
sold
would've-
Anakin's rage better.
Yes, it would have, because that was awkward the way he went off on Dooku a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny that this scene it was revealed in a book in 2005 called Making of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
Mhm.
And it's funny how that one line right there could have taken Anakin to, X power,
Yeah.
like to the
Mhm.
next level, and could have also opened the door for him to be a little bit more rageful, more evil. Because I've always was on the fence. I knew Anakin was a bad dude, right? And
Right.
you knew he was conflicted.
Right.
But I wasn't always sold that he was like as bad as Darth Vader.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I feel like if that line would have been in there, man, Anakin could have been. He could have been a guy like, wow, that's the guy you love to hate.
For sure. Yeah. Agreed.
I think so. Or for that matter, Dooku would have been a guy that you loved to hate.
Yeah,
Ooh, good
exactly
point.
right.
I love
Exactly
that.
But
right.
there was also no connection to Dooku, really. Like you think about
Yeah.
Dooku and you're like, all right, he's old school, wants to do it his way. I mean, he didn't have like, a general passion against Dooku. Like it was like, who cares?
Mhm.
You
He was
almost
more
felt a
puppet
little
at that
sorry
part.
for him because you knew that that the Emperor was setting him up. So you kind of felt a little bad for him.
He was
Yeah,
a
but
dirty villain.
I always felt like in the movies they didn't give enough time to Dooku anyway. That is
Yeah.
me personally. That's why I loved when they came out with the Star Wars animated with him.
Absolutely. The animated really shed light on Dooku, which I loved. If
Yeah.
they
And
would
I
have
want to see more.
some way of putting that into the movie, that would have been even better. And
Yeah.
I completely agree with you.
So that's my little fun fact snippet
Fun.
there.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. How about the I want to talk a little bit about the CES a little bit. Not necessarily whatever tech that you may have seen there, you can talk about it. I'll kind of open the floor. This gadget that I'm about to tell you about wasn't at CES.
Oh,
But it is something that I decided that, okay, I want to see just how well it works. And so I decided to pick up something, and I was debating on it's basically a digital e-ink writer, a tablet. So you may or may not have heard of something called Remarkable. Remarkable is kind of like a paper. It's a tablet, but
Mhm.
they call it like it's closest to writing on paper, and it's digital ink. So you write it with a pen, just like your Apple iPad, would do. But it's specifically for writing and making notes and things like that. Not necessarily iPad for iPad is drawing, and it could do so much more than just taking notes. It's kind of overkill if you just want to take notes. But I decided to either go with the Remarkable 2, which I didn't. I still want to try it. But I ended up deciding on the Amazon, something from Amazon called the Kindle Scribe. Now, this is something new that Amazon came out with. And it's a big Kindle, so you can read books on it. You can do some other things.
Books. What are books?
You can take notes in books. You can, highlight, specific passages or
Okay. Yeah.
or whatever. And it's black and white, but it's a big tablet. It's a 10.2-inch tablet, so it's pretty large. It's like a regular size of a sheet of paper. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with it. It came out looking really good. I needed something to make some notes on
Okay.
without carrying the iPad. It's much lighter than I say much lighter. It's lighter than the iPad. And as I flip it around here, you could see. I mean, obviously no glare. You don't have any glare on
Yeah,
that
that looks great.
whatsoever. And I've got huge bright lights shining right in my face. And as I click this, and then these are just for the folks joining on the webcam here. There's paper. You can choose what kind of paper you want to put there. I upgraded for the pen, the premium pen, and so I just want to kind of go, just real quick here, and you can see. Oops, I probably paged over. Let me go back. You can see how that just comes out so nicely.
Okay.
And so if you're in a meeting or whatever, you could easily do that, and you can take this and you can erase.
Yeah, it's erasing. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You can erase with it. So it's a pretty cool little thing. You can do highlights, like I said. You can do other stuff, but I just decided to do something different. It's not cheap. It does cost some money.
Yep.
So it's if you like pen and paper, that's the cheapest you're going to get. If you want it digital, which it's fine. You could get something like this. I upgraded with the premium pen, which has an erasable the other side, like an eraser would be.
Okay. So
Yeah,
if the standard pen doesn't have the eraser, then you're saying
Doesn't have the eraser. But you just click a tool that's pen there, and you can erase if you wanted to.
I see.
But for the premium with the 10 gigabyte is all you would need. I mean, we're talking about PDF, so you could actually put a PDF in here and sign a PDF or make marks in a PDF with no problem. You could type in it if you wanted to. It comes up with a keyboard. But that with a premium pen is $370. So it's not cheap. Yeah.
Premium price.
Yeah.
Hey, let me in. Can I go? All right. Sounds like I can go now. First thing that comes to mind, $370 for a digital Etch-a-Sketch. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought.
But more controllable. More controllable.
Right, yeah, that's it. No knobs, a pen with an eraser. Okay, so here's my thing. Why are we carrying around this for? It's thinner. I listen. Moose, hey, Mike.
Woo.
Hold on, Magic Mike, because I know you're right there, ready to back him up like always. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my piece.
Okay. Go ahead.
So you sold it well, Moose. No glare, right? It's thin. It's light.
I meant you can do it day or night, so there's no glare.
Yeah,
You can use it at night.
Yes. So you sold it well.
Yeah.
Right. So absolutely. But it's just a notebook and a pen, right? And here's the problem I have with it, right?
Well,
This is
to read books. You can also read books.
Okay.
If you want to do PDFs, you can do PDFs.
I'm gonna go Magic Mike 2018 here. All right. Hey, you can yawn all you want because this is the same thing I did to you when you even mentioned it back in 2018.
By the way,
why you want to carry a Switch around? It does the
That's
same
exactly
thing
my point I was just going to make. I was going to say, you're okay with doing it. You were okay in 2018 doing it. You're okay with doing it now. Why are you giving Moose a hard time?
Listen, it is
proving my point.
Is what you got on me about what it is now. $370 for a digital pen and paper.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So
man.
do you carry a journal? Do you do any type of note taking throughout the day?
No.
You don't.
Doesn't.
You take no notes.
You knew that move.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
Hey,
well,
it's
maybe
called
you should.
Speak to my phone.
I do take notes on my phone often. I would like that because I would actually rather have a pen for. I wish they had an app for that on my phone. Maybe they do.
Oh,
they may
no
have
surprise.
Because that way I could make it easier. I wouldn't want to carry around as Game God's talking about. And he says no surprise.
You can't really write in a phone with a pencil. That's the reason why the Samsung doesn't do it anymore. No, you can't. It's too small. It's ridiculous. First of all, second of all, you can create notebooks. Like I said, you could create a journal if you wanted to. You can make a list. You could have grid paper. You could have line paper. You could have whatever. I just think that it has some, and not to mention, if you read, if you like to read, it does do a great job of that too.
Yeah,
but for those that can't whip out their phone and take notes whenever they want, maybe they want something a little better that sits on a desk a little nicer, and you can actually use it. Now,
that's the $370 people.
By the way,
want to do that.
the pen magnetically attaches there. And by the way, see these little feet right here? So when you put it down, it doesn't slide on you, and you're not scratching up your.
Listen, all that's great.
Doesn't that sound like everything an iPad has?
Listen, I was just gonna say this. All that's
iPad
great.
doesn't have that.
Well, you have a case for the iPad, so it doesn't slide anyway. All that part is great, but I have to go with Game God. I just don't see a need for it because, and it's a great item. Don't get me wrong. I love the tech piece, but if you're going somewhere, Moose, are you carrying that and the iPad? Or are you carrying one or the other? Because you do everything on your iPad as well.
Correct, but this is just for the iPad's not going to last you 2 weeks on a charge. This will.
No. 2 weeks on a charge.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wow. You should have started with that. You should have led with that.
Just saying.
Listen, I'm not saying Moose doesn't have the selling points. I just if you are an extreme note taker and a book reader, then this is the device for you.
Not
Right?
necessarily, but it's just
I feel like this should be on QVC.
wow.
Well, Moose, how does it compare to the other one you were talking about as far as price goes?
Very similar. Actually, the other one's probably just a hair higher.
Hmm.
So I'd rather go with somebody like Amazon, where I know
Yeah.
that I can have a return if I needed it. Although the other company does say, hey, you have 100 days, return it whenever you want.
Right.
But what's the longevity of it? I know that Amazon are going to back their product. They will. They're big enough.
I'm just not paying
and-
$370 to take notes.
Yeah.
Hey,
I hear
that's
you.
Hey, Magic Mike, I'm with you 1,000% on that one.
Listen,
I take that car any day. with you.
there are other options, and I remember I am a big fan of doing it electronic with your phone, like the other piece where you can write it in the journal and then take a picture and it grids it out
Correct. Yeah.
and puts it in your phone. But if you're not able to carry your phone, then I guess you could just put it in the journal, the book, and carry the book. But this is just something that it's just an extra. It's not for everybody, that's for sure.
This is a rich man notebook.
Maybe, and this is something else that was recently sent my way. This is a
Look how he changes it. Wow.
there's the Emperor. Speaking of the Emperor in Star Wars, so that's kind of cool. I need to get Darth Maul though. Look at that, Darth Maul is on the back as well.
Oh,
Darth Maul
nice.
looks
Darth
great.
Maul looks great.
Yeah, so
Darth
that looks
Maul is
great.
great.
two more things to show you real fast, guys.
Oh, he's got more, and it's more.
You
But
show and
wait.
tell. I got you.
This is, by the way, there's Geeky Tiki's here with what is
This
that?
man- this
Boba
man
Fett,
got-
Stormtrooper, Chewbacca, and Darth Vader. There, the little minis. Oh wait, don't go.
Wait, there's more if you act now.
And by the way, this is just one of those things that we talked about getting, and I wanted, and I decided to do it. I got the other smaller version.
Oh, we knew that was
Yeah.
coming.
Here is the big version.
Yes,
of
we
the
did.
Corolla, and there it
Yes,
is.
we
I haven't taken
did.
it out of the box just yet.
Yeah.
but,
Game God and I called that one.
Yeah,
So
we
this-
knew that was coming.
Yeah, we
but
knew it.
yeah, it's here anyway.
You
She'll,
need to take it out the box and give it a full on
I know,
demonstration.
but I just haven't. I haven't done that yet. So
That must have just got in today, Magic Mike. That must have just got in.
Yeah,
today.
must have. Yeah, he's.
Hey, that's when he went off camera. That's what he did. That's what he
That's
did.
what he was doing. He's like, oh,
yeah, he went.
it just came to the door. He's like,
It's here.
I
don't
can't
know
hear
what-
you guys. I'll
I
be
don't even
back.
know what button to hit. I got to figure that out.
Hey, and you know what's funny, Magic Mike? He said not only that, he was like, "Oh, I forgot to do a podcast. I gotta go back upstairs." Exactly what happened. Yeah, because the first time it was to go pick it up. The second time was like, "Oh, let me play with this a little bit."
It just
hold on.
arrived at the door. Yeah.
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 So, but that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice, Moose. That's
Anyway.
nice.
Are you done showcasing all your expensive stuff? The billionaire.
He's the billionaires club.
Yeah.
Please go ahead if you have something that.
I have
Is that
something
good?
I want you guys' opinion on because I know you guys know comics. I am
Okay.
not as big a comic book person. Not that I'm not a fan. I just haven't read as many comic books as you guys have, and certainly haven't been in that world as much as you guys have.
Yeah.
There was something that came out recently where they are talking about introducing. Well, I guess they've already introduced it at this point in time. Something into the Marvel universe, and they've done it as in the Marvel universe, the main Marvel universe as we know it. Because I
Yeah.
know they always have these
MCU.
offshoots.
Earth 626.
Yeah.
Right. Because they've done where other universes where they've done other Infinity Stones.
Mhm.
They've introduced different things.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, they are now introducing into the main Marvel universe a seventh Infinity Stone.
What?
Yes,
I have
it's
not
the-
heard that.
It's the Black Stone, and this has special relationship to Thor. So what they
are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. And so just before you give your opinion, hold on, because I see your face, because I want to get it out so I can get your real thoughts on it.
Yeah. Thank you.
So goes back to Thor's, I think, grandfather. His name is Bor, I believe it is. You guys would know better than me.
Nope.
But keep
I
going.
know he had a grandfather.
But yeah, it's related to him, and it comes down from there. And they haven't released the powers yet, at least not that I've seen.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what does this do for the Marvel universe as we know it? Because that's the comic world. Eventually, the comic world does come into the
Leads in,
MCU.
depending on depending on what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You think they're going to do that? Is this a good thing? Is this a negative thing, or is it just a okay thing?
Moose,
You
I'll
got-
let you go first, Moose. No,
Oh,
I'll
you
let
let me
you
go first. Sweet.
I'll let you go first on this one.
I don't to introduce a new Infinity Stone to me seems I don't like a giant killer. Like it just seems
Mm,
it doesn't seem right. And maybe there's some I've never heard of this, and maybe it's been around forever, but nonetheless, if it hadn't been there, then why wasn't it? You know, like
right.
I just those are the things that I have problems with. No different than Adam Warlock. Like, why didn't we see Adam Warlock? What
Right.
is going on? You know?
Listen,
So you know, I guess it could be okay, but and you know what? I take that back. It could be great. If they do it right. We always complain that they take the old stuff and they
Mhm.
mess it up. So I guess if they're introducing something new and they do it right, then good. Why not?
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one, Moose. And here's the reason why: because you started to go the right way, and then something I don't know, like you did like the Grinch, and you had a heart, and it grew 2 sizes too much. You know,
Yeah.
man, listen, when you're gonna do something new, you do it completely from scratch, new. You don't ride on the coattails of something else,
I agree
right?
with you there.
Mhm.
And so for all of comic book history, and that means that for as long as I can read, which hasn't been long, um, there have only been 6 stones,
Right.
only 6 stones. And there's been foundations and stories and characters and more stories and more characters built on the backs of 6 stones, right? To make a 7th stone is saying that the 6 stones or the history of the 6 stones is incomplete or
Yeah.
broken or something's wrong with it, which then leaves a backstory or back door to destroy the greatest story ever told in the comic book history, which is the Infinity
Yeah.
Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a problem with that. And it's not just a problem of, hey, we're just going to rehash a character, kill him, and bring him back in a different color scheme. Right. Rob Clark says the Blackstone combines timelines and universes. Yeah, sorcerers and magicians and all that stuff. But to Moose's point, and this is what he started. It's like a giant killer. It's like the reset button. It's like the hey, there's a multiverse and an alternate timeline. It's the Flash reinvented,
Yeah.
right? It just
Right.
it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Make something else. Make an infinity staff or an infinity boots, right? Don't
Don't
make
mess
it
with the stone.
another stone. Don't make another stone. Do something different.
I don't think that that's any better because that is
No,
just
I
that's not
know.
anything different. So my
I
question,
know.
so then that would lead to has everything been done already? Because if you think about it, all the things that are coming out now are just a remake of something like you're saying, Game God. It's just been turned into something different. It's not original anymore. But is there anything original anymore with this? And out of all the stories, the comic stories, this is the one I am most familiar with, which is the Gauntlet series, the Infinity series. And so I don't like this idea either. I don't like the idea of introducing a new stone. It does not bring me excitement. It is. I don't go, oh, are you kidding? What is this? It doesn't. I don't get those feels initially.
But
Maybe they can do
having
something,
said
but I
that,
don't get it.
you didn't like Ant-Man, you didn't like the Wasp, you didn't like Kang, and you just saw a trailer and you're like, oh, wait a minute. They could have something here.
But those are
I
existing
think the
characters,
same
though.
thing could be with the Blackstone.
I
They could
did
have
like
had
Ant-Man. I did like Kang.
the original? And you like
Yeah.
Kang and Loki?
I did. I even said that. I liked his character in there.
Magic Mike.
Well, that's the problem,
I might
Moose.
pull your card.
Yeah, that's the problem, Moose.
Let's fact check
That's the
that
problem.
next week.
Hey, you just gave him too much time with that one, man. He was
Listen.
doing well, and then all of a sudden, that's what happens.
Well,
No, listen. I get what you guys are saying. Something throw a little curveball and everything like that. But at the end of the day, right? I appreciate a great character. Comic books has been around for I can't even tell you 100 years.
Mhm.
Let's just say comic books have been around, and comic book characters have been made over 100 years. There's been you got Shazam, who's been compared to Superman, who's been compared to so you got characters that are similar, but they're their own story, their own birthright, their own conflicts. But they've taken the leap of making a new character with a new story, new villain. Don't take a character that exists. Don't take a power.
Well, they didn't take a character. They took
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
they took
So-
an item that already existed and said, let's expand upon it.
I understand, and I agree with you. I also agree with me that I'm thankfully it's not a character necessarily.
Yeah.
It's a power.
So then they're gonna do Infinity War remixed.
Well, no, but that's the question, right? So you're exactly right, which leads to so where does it go next? Can it be introduced now into the Infinity or into the MCU, or is it just going to be a comic book piece? Because as you guys are saying, there's a little. It's not a character, and you say it's a power that already existed, but it's not. This may be a power that we aren't familiar with yet. That's going to come into play and go, oh, this is something. Maybe it is a new power. Maybe it is something new.
Well, and it'd be like the first time seeing Galactus. You know, if you hadn't seen Galactus, the first time you see Galactus, you're like, oh, why did they do this? But Galactus has always been there. You know.
So,
hey, and just so you know, if you need, for the people who are listening to us, if you want more information on the 7th Infinity Stone, it's in Thor issue number 29 and in Thanos Death Notes number 1, which are both in the stores now. But listen, I'm not interested in it, so I'll skip right over it.
but when's the last time you picked up a new comic book anyway?
Yeah, that's right.
I read it off my Kindle Scribe.
There you go. You can do that if you have a subscription to Marvel.
Well, that led me to go ahead, Moose.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that because we talked about how he's been listening to reading comic books for forever or whatever his time frame. So as I was looking at that, I wanted to know, well, have the comic book sales changed over those years as we've seen different things happen?
Yeah.
And of course, the sale numbers are going to change, right? Because of the price of things. And I was looking at something, and this kind of only goes back to around 1997. To where I could see, obviously, comics have been around longer than that. Excuse me. And then, the prices have about doubled from $2 and change to $4 and change.
How about
from 97
4 times?
Yeah, I would have guessed higher, but
yeah, from my sources, I thought higher as well.
Yeah.
Because there's so many numbers out there when it comes to comics. So I just went with something basic.
Yeah.
And the sales in copies is not a whole lot different. So 1997, 100 million copies. 2021, guess how many copies are sold?
I'd say it goes down.
I would guess it goes down too considerably. What was the total?
100 million 1997.
100 million. Even though you kind of gave your hand away when you said it really hasn't changed, but
I did.
I'm gonna say 650 thousand.
Okay, Game God, you got a guess?
You said 100 million. You said
100 million.
I'm gonna go down to 60 million.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. 100 million. So not one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So you're about the same.
I'm gonna say 65.
65 million. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
94 million copies in last year or 2021. They don't have 22
copies printed.
Copies sold.
That's tough to believe.
Well,
I know.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm struggling with this, and I don't want to get into a whole podcast about how many are sold.
We don't. Yes.
Let's open up the books. Open up the books.
But I do want to say, sold to who? Vendors or the public?
Again, that's not information. There's, like I said, there's so many numbers out there to look at. And what you could do as far as how deep you can go, Moose, as you're saying. We don't want to do that, but just to give you an idea, even though there's been a lot of changes, I think maybe the changes, some people that used to get into them have stepped away and others have stepped in their place.
Yeah.
Well, the other question, again, just a rhetorical question, is that just paper copies or does that include digital copies as well?
That's a good
point.
So
there's a whole nother column for that. I'm just going by this. Like, again, there's so many.
Can I throw another wrench though in there? I wonder,
please
and we'll move on to something else because we're running short on time. I wonder how many comics were made, how many issues were printed. Let me take it back. How many titles there were available in 97 versus how many titles are available today?
Yeah.
I bet you that number skyrocketed.
I bet you it's 3-4 times the amount.
I agree.
And so to get a similar number, you got to make more titles.
Because
there's more titles, less issued per title. I bet you that's what
less pages too. Less pages.
And I'll leave you with this. The biggest jump out of all the comparisons, digital, paper, has been the novels. That's have been the biggest jump over time. Has been the graphic novel.
Makes sense. And by the way, if you want to see a novel, you can always do it on your Kindle.
The Scribe, not a sponsor of the podcast. Hey, can I talk about a couple of things I saw at CES that I want to get?
You got 3 minutes. Go.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a speed run here. So you guys know Arcade 1-Up? They make video games systems or consoles or what?
Arcade 1-Up, yes.
Yeah. So Arcade 1-Up has an Infinity Game table. At one point, I know you know that they've made the Infinity Game board, so it's a tabletop of the same type of 100 board games, all on a touchscreen TV.
Easy for you to say.
Yes, cool. So you can play anything from Monopoly to Uno to anything. Like I'm like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Optimus Prime robot, the remote
Mhm.
controlled transforming robot, not necessarily new. They just made a smaller version. There's a $1,000 one. Now this one's 700, 19
Oh,
inches tall.
Uh,
Yeah, 700. I want it, man. So if one day
Go
you
get it.
see it in the background, that's the only reason why I would get an autograph, because they won't ever make a Decepticon. The HTC Vive XR Elite.
Yeah.
Now you guys know I'm into the VR world. You know I like that
Mhm.
stuff. This if I'm gonna put down my Quest Pro 2,
Yeah.
this is why I'm gonna put it down. This thing here is they have the pancake lenses, so it's flat. But what's cool about it, it can be glasses or it can be goggles.
Okay.
So it allows you to put it into a glasses form or goggles form. It also has a detachable battery, so you can swap them out.
Ooh.
The graphics are better. They're better. I mean, I can get to the specs, but
Yeah, no.
this thing here looks like it's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper than the Quest
VR.
Pro. It's cheaper than
And
the
you can
Quest
look like
Pro.
Riddick when you're wearing them.
Yes, you can. But it's cheaper than Quest Pro. It is coming in at $10.99, and it comes out in February, end of February. And then a couple quick more things. Listen, he gave me 3 minutes. I still got a
I
minute.
think you're about exhausted the 3 minutes.
Hey,
Nobody
okay,
else
one more-
has the.
one-
Nobody else has anything from CES?
No. One more thing.
Oh, my gosh.
The Pimax Portal, which is a Nintendo Switch and the Quest Pro put together, so it looks like a Nintendo Switch. You can put into goggles and do the Quest Pro as well. There you go. I did it. I made it.
Listen, let me just say this. I am holding off on all VR and AR until Apple releases their glasses. And I say that because once it does, that is the giant killer. It is going to change the way things are done. And I'm looking forward to that. Magic Mike, any last words?
Yeah, I wanted CES 97-inch OLED. Come on.
Oh, how much?
25,000. That's for the
I was
wire.
just leaving.
Sign me up, Magic Mike. Sign me up. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next week.
You've
Take
been
care, Rob.
listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi with Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike. Nerds have more fun. If it's anything sci-fi, we're talking about it. We had fun, and we hope you did too. We have to split, but we'll be back soon. In the meantime, hit us up at podcastforsci-fi.com. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Come to life.